Hey up, welcome back to the channel. You're watching my channel, Pit Motoring TV. My name's Eddie, welcome back. So today we're going to be having a look at a popular Super Mini from 2016, so a used car review. Now this has been a household name since early 90s. Now you'll all know the Renault Clio. Now today I'm going to be taking a look at and reviewing a 2016 Renault Clio Dynamique, and it's the nav model, so it comes with a sat nav. Now, along with its unique styling, its affordability, and a decent, well, it's decently well equipped. We're going to see what it's like. So obviously, if you want to see more, carry on watching. As soon as we're outside the car, we'll take a look at that first. Now, it's this front end. It's really visually appealing. You've got really nice, steeply angled headlights. Now, these are Renault's trademark C-shaped full LED headlights. You've got the daytime running light, fog lights. You've got a really nice narrow front grille that comes with this large Renault badge in the front. It just all adds to the front end. It's really nice. It's nice to look at. It's really well styled, and it also carries that on inside and also around the back. So come with me around the back and we'll take a look. Now around the back, for me, I find it just as appealing as it does at the front. Now with its chunky lines and obviously it's sort of like a low squat, it adds to that styling all down the car. I mean, it's got a really nice side profile. I like how the door handles are moulded into the top of the doors. Now for a car of this year, I think it was one of the first, and it actually looks really smart. Makes it look like one of the old 3-doors from how they used to, but it's actually a 5-door and only available as a 5-door. Now one of the big practicality bonuses of the Clio is its boot. It's got a really nice size boot with 300 litres of space. The only downside is it's got a massive load lip. I mean, look how that swallows my arm. Now there isn't an adjustable boot floor in here, but the load lip is quite massive. With the seats folded down, you get over 1,000 litres of boot space. But the only problem is there's a large lip and the seats don't go fully flat, so you've got a bit of a slope to contend with, obviously if you're doing any tip runs or anything like that. But it's nice to see a couple of decent tethering points in the back there. So let's go ahead and check out what it's like in the rear. Now here in the rear, space is quite tight. I mean, this seat's in my driving position. There's not a lot of leg room. I can tuck my feet underneath though, which does make it a little bit more comfortable. But the space wise in here, you can fit 4 adults at least 6 foot, so it's not too bad. But I wouldn't recommend long journeys like that. Bit nostalgia for you. Manual windy windows in the back, but it's nice, it's light. The seats are relatively comfortable. They do have ISOFIX points which are really easy to access, so putting your children's car seats in here or your grandchildren's car seats are going to be really easy. Headroom, I'm quite surprised at that, to be fair. I thought there'd be a lot less headroom than that. I thought I'd be catching my head a lot, but I'm actually not. But obviously if you are taller than me, I'm around 5'10", you're going to catch your head and be a bit scrunched down. So let's check out the front and then we'll see how it drives out on the road. So the front of the Clio, I mean, it's not too bad. It's quite roomy. I'm not squished or anything like that. The seats are quite comfortable. Now one thing I do like is there is a lot of adjustability in the steering wheel. A nice bit of reach adjustment, and it goes quite far. I was surprised at how much you can actually adjust that. And it's the same with the seats. There's a lot of adjustability in the seats, so you're bound to find that perfect little comfortable driving position for you. Now storage wise, there's not a lot. There's a few cup holders, little tray down here, you've got a little pocket here with a 12-volt socket. You do have a USB port for the infotainment system. Obviously you can connect your phone that way, or you can connect it via Bluetooth. Glove box is absolutely tiny. I mean, that's got the service book in there and it's full, so that's not to write home about. Pretty small door bins, you can't really get a bottle in there. But for a Super Mini, it's not too bad at all. I mean, one thing I have found quite good with this is the stereo. It's a really good stereo. Now, for them youngsters that are going to be looking at this sort of car, maybe for a first car or a second car, obviously they like the music, they'll be able to rave around with their mates on a Friday night, cruising around the town. So, it's not too bad. There is a 7-inch infotainment system. Now, this is the nav model, and it does have sat-nav. Now, even for this sort of year, back in 2016, the graphics just look really dated still, even to say it's 2016. Now, it is alright to use. There's not much that you can do with it like you can with infotainments these days. But the sat-nav isn't bad. It's a bit clunky, it's a bit slow, but for back in 2016, and it's not too bad, and it does work. So you do have a sat-nav there. So let's hop in. We'll get the GoPro rigged up. We'll take it out on the road, see how it drives. Now, out on the road in the Clio, and it's not too bad. I mean, yeah, it's not as good as its rivals. I mean, it's not as fun to drive as the Fiesta, and it's not as a refined ride as the Volkswagen Polo. But I mean, the suspension's soft enough. It copes with most road surface as well, and soaks up the bumps well. But it's not that soft. It's still quite stiff enough that it's not going to be like a wallowy jelly in the corners. And it does handle quite well, and it's comfortable. So I mean, it's not too bad at all in that respect. Now, the engine that's in this one that we're in today is the 0.9 litre 3-cylinder turbo. Now, that only gives you 89 brake horsepower and 104 foot-pound of torque. It's not the quickest thing. I mean, if anything, I'd recommend going for the 1.2 litre turbocharged petrol or the 1.5 diesel. They're both as economical, and the diesel offers even more economy, but they've all got that bit of extra oomph, bit of extra go, which makes it a bit more usable if you wanted to go further afield, and say motorway driving and things like that. But economy-wise, in this 0.9 litre, you can expect up to 61 miles to the gallon, which I mean, that's really, really good. It's cracking. But yeah, one thing I do like about it is the steering is really, really light. For a Super Mini, it's fingertip light, which is really, really good. Around town, it makes it really easy to drive. It's easy to park. Obviously, in the facelifted newer from 2016, you get front and rear parking sensors and a reversing camera. Don't have that with these ones. It's just before they facelifted the Clio. But the only thing about the steering that I don't like, you don't get a lot of feel through it. Now, it is light with a weighty feel, but you don't feel as connected to the road as you do in, say, like the Fiesta or the Polo. I mean, even the equivalent Hyundai has a little bit more feel in the wheel. Now, with all Clios, I've found them in loads of them, and it seems to be like a little bit of a Renault trait, especially with the Clio, is the gearbox. It's a 5-speed manual, and it feels notchy. But I mean, like I said, I've had that in the older Clios as well. It must be a Clio thing. But if you opt for the automatic, the changes are very, very slow. It's a bit lethargic. Overall though, on a whole, I think the Clio's up there with some of the best selling Super Minis. I mean, it offers really visually appealing styling. I mean, I prefer the styling of this over the Polo. I mean, I prefer the Fiesta, but the Clio does look nice. And drivability wise, it drives nice, it's practical. One thing I don't like, and I wouldn't like to do, is lug a big pram in and out of that boot, obviously with the big load lid. But I mean, what do you think of the Clio? Let me know in the comments below. Now, we're almost at 500 subscribers. If we can get there, I can interact with you guys a bit more through YouTube on the community panel thingamajigger. So, if you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe. if you like this video, help YouTube and its algorithm out, give it a nice big thumbs up, give it a share, tell your friends about the channel. Maybe they're looking for a new car, might have the review just for them. I'm hoping to get out there with a few more dealers over the next coming week, so if you are a car dealer that's based in the Scarborough area, please do get in touch. So for now, that's all from me. I hope you're all well. See you there.